Hello, everyone. I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US, and I'm here to bring you another live paper crafting class. Today is Wednesday, January 20th, 2021 at 11 a.m. Central Time as I'm broadcasting to you live. So welcome those of you that are live with me right now. If you're watching the replay, there's another place to comment. But those of you that are live, if you're logged into your Google/YouTube account, you should be able to comment. So excited, always excited. I love sharing. And this time I have a Galentine's Day little treat to show you. I'm going to be seeing some girlfriends of mine pretty soon. And I decided, you know what, I just need to craft and give a little gift to each of them. So that's what I did. And I'm going to share with you how I made them. Let's see here. What else do I want? Oh, I'm going to be sharing the Hearts and Kisses stamp set and the Kiss Punch. And I don't think that that gets enough recognition in the catalog, the new January through June mini catalog. Those of you that sell Avon or Mary Kay or things like that, you may want to get your hands on this stamp set because it's perfect. It shows off some really cutesy kind of lipsticky lips, and you'll see it. So anyways, and then I'm going to also share with you the Love You Always specialty designer paper and the Love You Always foil sheet. So I'm kind of combining some different products that you might not think to combine. Who knows? If you are live, sit back, watch, join in the chat if you want to. Trisha Josephs is my moderator. She is here with us today and she's here to help you out. So if you have questions, you can tag her. She just explained how you do that. You put the little @ sign before her name and then her name should come up. You can click on her name and then that way she'll see it because it will highlight in kind of an orange color. So thank you, Trisha, for joining me again. Also, if you mention that you shared this broadcast, that would be great. Comment away. When you comment, when you mention that you shared, when you share about the weather, when you talk about how long you've been a crafter, when you tell me where you're from, when you ask questions. Anyways, when you type a comment in, you're going to get entered into a prize drawing. And this week we're going to do the same sort of prizes that I had last week's because I've got a ton of extra celebration stamp sets just sitting around here and I would love to give them away. So look forward to that. The prize drawing will be at the end, and Trisha again will draw for 2 live winners. So comment away. Hopefully you'll win if you haven't won yet. Not everybody can, I know. Silly me. But thinking good thoughts your way, right? This broadcast will go onto my website at stampyourartout.com at 12:15 p.m. So that is Central Time also, and that's like an hour and a half after I've gone live. So you can find me there. You can also look in the description of the video for the link to that post, which will be live at 12:15. In the description of this post, I also have the supply list of what I'll be using for this project today. So if you have any questions about that, you can refer to that. And what else do I want to mention? I think that's it. So we're going to go to the comments. I'm going to pull those up on my computer. I've rearranged my room, you guys. I actually spent like 3 hours this past weekend, and you may see a slightly different angle on my craft room here, but I wanted to get away from the window because I was having such a glare, and I decided to play around with lighting. So hopefully we have better lighting this time. We'll see. So let me pull up the computer screen here, and you can see some of the comments that were highlighted from last week's Facebook or YouTube live. I love it when you share about the weather. It's always fun to see what people are experiencing in different parts of the world. I love it when you tell me secrets like don't share with my boss that I'm watching this. Some names that have come up that I sometimes don't see. Brina, it was good to see your name pop up. Yay. Let's see, what else did and Marnie and Luann, I met you. It was so fun. So they're both from Andover, Minnesota, which is where I live. And just in the last couple of weeks, I've been able to meet a couple of you who watched me live. So hello. I think I even saw Marnie's name come up in the pre-comments before I went live. I wish I knew how to speak that language, but hello to whoever that was that joined us. Yay. I need to learn more languages than just English. It's sad, right? overcast weather in Kansas. Tony, thank you for joining. What else? Oh, and Trisha was here last week, so that was fun. If you did not meet her last week because you didn't watch last week's video, you can check out the one about the Faker Shaker butterfly card. And you can see Trisha's face, so you can put a name to a face. Let's see here. Oh, and Karen brought up something that I thought was awesome. So I'm going to address that really quickly. I love how Carol shared her story about the hairspray in the car. That was funny. And Karen was so excited about her starter kit. Lisa wanted to know how she can order a starter kit. You can go to my website if you're interested in signing up as a demonstrator in my group. My website, and there's a join tab. If you have another demonstrator, contact them, let them know, and you can find out how to join from them. But it's a great time to join because the starter kit is awesome, as I mentioned in a couple of videos already so far. And then Rosemary, don't feel silly about asking that. Yes, you can comment in both places. So if you're live and you comment afterwards, you're doubling your chances, right? All right, so let's go to my desktop, and I'm going to bring out these items here. So this is the Stampin' Pierce mat. I think, Karen, it was Karen that mentioned that this is not in the current catalog. The reason why is because they were going to actually retire this product. They were going to send it away. And too many people said, what? What are you doing? Don't retire that product. So there was obviously, it wasn't printed in the annual catalog. It does not come with these words, by the way. I just put that on mine because I have ones that I pierce into and ones that I cut into, or ones that I don't cut into. So this is what I use when I'm using photopolymer stamps. But I love that Karen brought up that you can also use the foam pads from the Stamparatus tool. I never even thought about that. So thank you for sharing that tip. These have just the same kind of firmness where it's just a slight cushion. You have to kind of press hard into it. It's perfect. So if you don't have the Stampin' Pierce mat, thank you for sharing that tip, Karen. And you can find in the annual catalog those items. And of course, I didn't mark them. Let's see if I can find them quickly, though. So the Stamparatus is this positioning tool here, and that's where you can find the foam mats. So number 4 and number 5, they both have foam on them. This one just has a grid on it. So hopefully that helps. Page 164 of the annual catalog. The other things that I wanted to mention is last week I forgot to point out that those shaker cards here, this is the shaker card that I made last week, and that shaker card does fit into our medium envelopes. So no need to get an extra envelope. We talked about postage, that this is a thinner shaker than you normally make when you're making shaker cards, and that you may be able to get away with, especially if you have less sequins than I do, you may be able to get away with just the standard 1 ounce postage. So in the US, the 1 ounce postage is 55 cents. And then the extra ounce is 15 currently, but going up to 20 cents. So, so depending on how much bulk you have, and I like that tip, somebody mentioned that they have a certain kind of trimmer, and if it goes through, then it's good. I kind of gauge it on feel. I've gotten kind of used to it. But this one may need extra because of the bow. But if you don't have a real, like if you don't have a thick ribbon, it's a thinner one, maybe the crinkled seam binding, you should be able to get away with just using one stamp for this because it is a 1 ounce or smaller. I think it's like 3/4 of an ounce. Then I also didn't mention, okay, so I had some extra paper that I cut off when I made this background here, right? And this piece I took and added to the flap of an envelope, of the medium envelope. You'll notice that there's a little bit of excess there. You can just trim that off. You'll still have plenty of space to use your paintbrush or your aqua painter or wet water painter, to seal that shut. That's the safe way to do it nowadays, right? Okay, so I wanted to point out that. Also, people were asking about, and I'm sorry I'm addressing so many of these questions, but people were asking about why are there 2 of the same die? Somebody had thought that they actually, one of them cut them all separately, but no, they don't. They cut the same, and they're all connected because this stamp set called Floating and Fluttering is meant to make a floating frame card. Like there's a trend out there for making floating frame cards. So I only had to stamp and color these, or stamp them, I guess I should say, because the stamps color them in. But I only had to do that with 4 sets, and I die cut them 4 times, right? And this is just an example. I did not make one with those yet, but this is an example of a floating frame card. It's pieces that are laid all together like this. And I do have a video with that paper pumpkin kit, by the way. You lay them all like this and you pick them up all together with, oh gosh, now I'm blanking on the name. Hang on. Press and seal. And once you've done that, you can lift them up, pick them, turn them over, put dimensionals on the back, stick them onto your surface. If you cut them before you stick them onto your surface, then it's a step-by-step process. But anyways, it makes floating frames. And that was the whole concept behind that stamp set and the way the dies are. So hope that helps. That was a lot to explain. I'm sorry if you didn't catch some of that last week. So we're gonna make a cute little box today. I think I'm going to show you the measurements next, so let me pull this out of the way. You can take a screenshot if you so desire, but you don't need to because, again, all of this will be on my blog, on my website, at the link in the description at 12:15. So you'll be able to come back and you'll actually be able to print off a copy of that. It's like done into a PDF, so you can access that. But you can see all the supplies there. You can see the measurements. I did not turn this into imperial versus metric measurements this time, and I apologize to those of you that use the metric system. But just use the other side of your ruler because this is not a card, so it can work in. Anyways, I just didn't think it was necessary because it's a box. So hopefully you can just take those inches measurements and convert them into what you're using. And I think that's it on that. So let me take that off in case you want to take a screenshot. These supplies, all of them except the ones that are in italics down here, the black shreddies and the lip gloss, can be purchased from my store. And I do have a shop button on my website. So you can actually click on the links of the products in the description of the video to purchase them too. Okay, we're going to go to my desktop now. And I think that I've done everything. Okay, so yeah, I think I've shared everything there. Perfect. I'm going to show you how to do bows, you guys. These are some cute little lip glosses that I purchased off of Amazon. They're called Tracy Lip Glosses. They come in a package of 10. Let me pull that up. I should show you that. I do have a link for that too. So you can get to my Amazon link that I put in the description and access those. But look at how pretty they are. They're all those different colors. So what I did is the girlfriends that I'm going to see, we're going to have 10 of us there. So I get one too. And it was like the perfect number. So we're going to start with the card. And the card is a little bit smaller than we normally make them, but we have clear envelopes. I'm going to show you how to put them into the clear envelope. We're going to start with a piece of basic black cardstock that is 6 and zoom out, Rachel. That is 6 3/4. There we go. 6 3/4 inches by 4 1/4 inches, 4 1/4 inches. And so when you take that measurement in this direction of 6 3/4 and we cut that in half, think of, for the first number, cutting that in half. 6 divided by 2 is 3, right? And then the 3/4, think of taking that bottom number and making it twice as big. So instead of 3/4, it's going to be 3/8. And that's how you cut the fraction in half, if that helps those of you that struggle with that sometimes. All right, so here we go. 3 3/8 is where we want to go to, and that's where we're going to make the score line. So you take your light colored blade and press through like that, and now we have broken the fibers and we've made it much easier to fold that piece in half. Okay, now a bone folder. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to grab all the supplies that I'll need. Oh boy, I hope most of them are here. I may have to go back into the, you know, over there sometimes. Oops. Nice job, Rachel. Okay, so there's there's the base of our card. You can see again, it's smaller than our typical card, right? And it's not even half. It's not quite half, but it's just as tall in this direction. For this card, we're using... Okay, hang on. I gotta grab it. Rachel. Can you believe it? Okay, I thought I had everything pulled together. I did not. Thankfully, I know where everything is in my room. So we're gonna grab this stamp set called Hearts and Kisses. And see? Super cute. Perfect for Mary Kay, Avon, name some others that are out there. I can't think of others, but so if you sell lipstick, hello, right? And then it comes with a coordinating punch. If you want to buy them together, you save 10%. So we'll be using some scrap paper here. The Blushing Bride, Blushing Bride is the name of the color that we're using. And I actually used Rococo Rose and Sahara Sand on the other color combinations. So even though they're mixed in with the supplies that I just shared with you, there's 3 different color combinations. So this one, and it's like monochromatic. So it's that color plus like shades of that color with the paper, and then the black and white. Okay, so here's our Blushing Bride, and we've got our blocks. So let's go ahead and stick. We need to do some lips, and we need to do a heart, and we're also going to grab our Happy Galentine's Day image, and we'll mount this one onto a D size block. And I think I've just got C's here. Oh, here's a B. Here's a little B size block. So you can see the difference between the different blocks. I didn't list those in supplies, but just know that you can access different size blocks. You don't need to get one block for every stamp. You get like one of the different sizes and you're good to go for those of you that are beginner crafters. Let's grab our inks, which I do have ready. Yay. And so we're going to use the Memento Tuxedo Black ink for our words inside of our card. And we're going to use the same color ink to do tone on tone for this scrap. So we'll be using Blushing Bride on Blushing Bride. And if you look at this punch, when you turn it upside down, you can see that the heart is on the bottom and the lips are on the top. And so when we position it inside the cardstock here, I don't want to stamp my heart too high on that, you know what I mean? It has to go a little lower. But the lips can go kind of anywhere. So let's ink up our stamp and stamp that set of lips down. Don't you love? It's got that whole textured look to it. It looks like real lips that kiss the paper. And then this one we'll stamp down there. Move those up to the side. And then our Galentine's Day is going to go onto our other piece of Blushing Bride. So this piece of Blushing Bride measures, and I want to make sure I tell you the right size here. This piece measures just under 4. So it's just under 4. It's 3 7/8 by 3 inches. Okay. So we're inking up Happy Galentine. Isn't that cute? That's so clever. All right. And we'll stamp that so that our words, Happy and Day, are parallel to the top and bottom edges of the cardstock. So there's that, although I have a little blemish in there. Let's flip it over. If you have 2 sides of your cardstock, you can always take and try that again. Let's see. So there is our better image. All right, next. And I think all the stamping is done. That's it. So let's go ahead and punch. Do you see what I did here? Do you see that little mark? That's because I pressed too hard. Can you see the ink on the edge there? Thank goodness we're punching this out, but be careful. When you ink up your stamps, ink up lightly and then you can stamp firmer if you want to. In fact, I think that's better than going the opposite. So now we just line up, and I'm going to tilt it towards me for a minute. You line up your image with your punch, and it's okay if we're going to punch out a little bit there too, but you can always, you know, cut a thinner strip of cardstock if you're worried about waste. And then for this one, same thing. And you notice too that I have a large enough scrap where I can hang on to part of it before I punch. So there's that. And we've got our lips, our heart. Now we're bringing in a piece of foil, and the foil is the same size as the cardstock that I did, but I've also got, oh, Rachel, hang on. Oh my goodness sakes. Seriously, I thought I had that piece ready. Let me just, oh, here it is. It's cut. So here is the piece of designer paper, and here's the piece of foil sheet. And they're both called Love You Always. In fact, let's take just a little pause for a minute so I can show you in the mini. Oh, it's on my chair behind me. This is the page in the mini, page 14, where you can find this bundle. So there's the punch, there's the stamp set, and there's the stamp set images, true to size. And then here, just a couple pages back, on pages 10 and 11, you'll find this foil, this designer paper, the specialty designer paper, and then the foil sheets. And the specialty designer paper actually has a foil design on top of it, so so it's shiny. We're gonna grab our Seal Plus adhesive, and we'll just put down a little bit in each corner. And when you put this down, this is one of our stronger adhesives, so please be very careful. You'll want to make sure that it's lined up before you stick it down. So you want to hover, make sure all the sides, the edges, because once it's down, it's pretty much down. And if you try to peel it up, what happens is you get, you know, stickies stuck onto your foil that you can't get off. So be really careful about that. This is going to go onto the front of our card like this, but before we do that, we're going to bring in some ribbon. And I have two different size ribbons here. I have a piece that is 11 inches and I have a piece that is 9. So watch this. That's why I put or. Did you see that in the measurements? I put or because you can have a choice whether you want to do the ribbon saving, you know, ideas or not. It depends on how much ribbon you have. So with 11 inches, you should be able to do a knot super easily, right? Super easily? Oh yeah, math is my stronger subject. So you can do a knot, right? With that. You can even use more if you want to, but 11 inches should be plenty. With 9, you don't have quite enough. It's going to be really tough. But if you have the C-size block and you turn it vertically in front of you, so up and down, portrait, then you take your ribbon and you tie it around like this. You should have more to work with. And I think it was this, yeah, it was the size block. And watch this. Okay, so I've tightened my ribbon on there. Hang on. I want to twist that one. I want to twist it just a little bit more. And Rachel, slow down again. You're doing ribbons too fast. Right over left. Left is up to the right. Right is up to the left now, right? Okay. Right, correct. Now you're going to take and you bring this one down. You're just folding it like that. And this one, I think actually, instead of twisting it and bringing it up, because we have a double-sided ribbon, I'm just going to aim it straight up. Okay? And now I can take and hold on to that with my ring finger. Bring this one around to the left. This is a really small ribbon to show this with. Okay, we're trying though. Around to the left. So it's crossing over like that. Okay, and then you're going to take this end and you're going to pull it through. And because I twisted that ribbon beforehand, I shouldn't have to twist it as I'm pulling tight. Okay, but do this faster, Rachel, because you can't do ribbons slowly when they're that small. There we go. Okay, so now I've got my ribbon tied. I hope some of you are laughing with me. And I'm going to grab my sharper scissors that I assigned just for ribbon and fabric, and I'm going to trim the ends to make them nice and neat. But why did I tie it around the block? This is a ribbon saving technique. You can now slide it off. And I want my bow to kind of sit about here. So if you look at the ribbon, you can see how I'm pulling it over so that this edge is lined up with the edge there and my knot is there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, but I'm not going to cut right there. I won't have anything to wrap over. I'm going to cut underneath it about 1/2 inch. So I just cut half of an inch in underneath. So now, and I probably did too much. I probably cut too much off on this side. That's okay. But now I have enough to wrap over here, about 1/2 inch, and I have a little bit more to wrap over here. In fact, you could probably use a B-size block. So we're going to go ahead and just make sure that our ribbon sticks in those areas. So we're just putting a little adhesive back there and wrapping. Easy peasy. That's a ribbon saving technique. Again, I probably could have even gone smaller on my ribbon and maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the B-size block. Shoot, I swear I had it all set up. Okay, anyways, that's a trick. Experiment with it depending on the layer you're doing. We'll go ahead and add some more of this really strong adhesive called Seal Plus, and we'll tape this down now. And then get the fuzzies away. And then we're going to take this piece and we're going to go get dimensionals because we forgot those. Yes, I am organized, thank goodness. Just wasn't prepared. So that's going to stick up there like that. And then on the inside of our card, we will put, and again, you can just do it in the 4 corners. Oopsie. That sometimes happens. This is really strong adhesive, you guys. Don't let the cardstock back up. Oh, it's live. We got to deal with it. Do you see how it's on there like that? It got stuck on there. We're going to try to get that off. Hang on. There we go. So do it off to the side on your scrap paper. Pull that off and away. And I think instead, because this is roughed up now, I'm going to put it in here. So we might have had some kind of issue with the cardstock already. It might have had a little tear in it. Okay, so that's going to go here. I'm going to roll it a little bit more because I've got it too far on the end. We're making mistakes left and right. Isn't this awesome? Okay, so there's the inside of our card. Shh, don't tell anyone. This we're saving for the box. So our card is done, and this is why this card size works, because you can take and sign the name, sign your name on the inside, and then you can slide it into one of these clear envelopes like this, and then you take and remove the backing, and you just fold it over, and now you have a sealed up little card, and it won't. Yeah, it's perfect. It's ready to go with the box, which we're going to make next. All right, that was one ribbon saving technique. I think I have another one for you too. Let's start from scratch with this piece though. We're going to start with some measurements. In fact, let me show you this first. So this is going to be on my blog so that you can see these measurements and how they're cut. But we're going to take our Blushing Bride or our colored piece and we're going to cut it to just under 3 inches by just under 6.5. And it says 2 15/16. So seriously, just under is what you need. 6 7/16. That's just under 6.5. So think that as you're cutting is just under those numbers. And then we're going to score on all 4 sides at 1 inch. For our lid of our box, so this color is going to become the base. The Blushing Bride is going to become the base. And then for the lid of our box, we're going to cut it to 2 by 5.5 inches. You can actually get 1, 2, 3, 4. You can get 8 covers out of one sheet. This is the size of the cover. Look at that. You can crank out a bunch of these little covers. And the box size, 3. You can get 3 out of one 8.5 by 11 sheet. All right, let's bring this in. Let's cut that down. So we're going to cut to just under 3. And can you see? Yes, you can see that. Good. So here's my 3-inch mark. I'm going to go to that mark right there. And that's going to help to ensure that our box cover can go onto the top. So that's just under 3. And we have to extend the arm on our trimmer now to get to the just under 6.5-inch mark. Some things I'm prepared on. All right, so there's the 6.5-inch mark. We're going to go to that one right there and slice. And then we're going to do the scoring. Move that out of the way. We're going to do the scoring. So get that cutting blade out of the way, and you're going to score at 1 inch on all 4 sides. And I'm using this side of the trimmer now to do my 1-inch mark. So I'm glad you guys like that card because it is super simple, super easy. But you know what? If you're cranking out a bunch of Valentines for, say, like a class, let's say your kiddos are doing, you know, in-person school or hybrid or whatever, and they still are able to bring Valentines to school, then a simple card like that is all you need. Just pretty paper, ribbon, a little accent piece maybe, and words on the inside. Now we're going to score on all 4 sides of the cover at 1/2 inch. So we'll do that all the way around. And then we're going to get our paper snips. And I only have the one for ribbon. So if I'm really being nice to my supplies, I'm going to go back here again. And I'm going to grab my scissors for paper. Okay, we'll move that back here. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to find those corners where the score lines meet, and you're going to cut straight into on that score line on all 4 sides in this direction, and then you're going to cut just slightly at an angle. It's kind of getting that little notch out of there. It gives it a little V-cut. You're going to do that on all 4 sides. Some people call that mitering. Miter those little spots. So we'll do that here. And you can even do it along the opposite edge. So these tabs are going to fold in. And so some people may even want to do this, and you certainly can, where you angle cut on those corners as well. But you don't need to. It's not super necessary if you have very good measuring. If you're not very good at measuring, then you'll want to do that, okay? Because that'll help bring the tabs in a bit better. So how do we do the tabs? We come in with this adhesive or a glue dot, and you're just going to put a little bit. You can see how I just put a little bit of that adhesive there. The Seal adhesive is our stronger of the two. I'm sorry, Seal Plus is the stronger of the two, and that's this one here. And so it's going to help with boxes. I did list the other one on there, didn't I? Tear and tape. The tear and tape, yeah, because you'll see why. The tear and tape is thinner, so we're going to use that as well. But you could use either or you could use both, like I'm going to do, or you could use our liquid glue. We have some green capped glue called our Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. See how I'm doing these corners here? I'm lining up this edge with that fold. So liquid glue is a favorite of some because then you have wiggle room. I don't know, I'm a dry glue fan mostly. I do use the wet glue once in a while. And it dries pretty fast, really, that Tombow multi-purpose glue. It doesn't take too long. You can see on this one a little bit better because the cardstock color is lighter. But again, I'm cutting right on that fold, that score line, and then I'm cutting in like this, doing the same thing here. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to cut the angled ends there just because I want to show you what will happen if I don't cut like this, okay? Because it's really not something to worry about too much. I'll show you why. So this one's going to need like a couple strands of the adhesive. And then again, we'll fold. And I should be using my bone folder. I listed it, didn't I? That helps give your creases that extra crispness, especially on those two sides there. And then we'll come up and we'll connect that edge to that. And this is the reason. Do you see that slight overlap there? This piece is kind of sticking out. So that would be the reason, if that bugs you, to go ahead and trim. But it doesn't bug me on this box for some reason. I don't know why. I'm OCD on a lot of things, but not that one. I don't know why. So our box is ready. We can put, our box bottom is ready. We can put some shreddies in it. And I just picked up some black little shreddies at the dollar store. I chose black because that's the color of my cover, and the lip glosses have black on them. So yeah, just a cheap dollar store brand, real inexpensive, obviously $1. And then you can put your little lip gloss in there like that, right? And this will go on top, but we want to decorate the top of the box. So I'm angling it too much. There we go. Okay, our box is nice and tight without any warping of the box bottom, because we have done, oh, there's a slight warp there, isn't there? Probably because I didn't get it tight enough. My other boxes are perfect. Yeah. Oh, well. It works, I promise you. I'm just having mistakes today. It's a mistake day. Okay, so that's on. Now we're going to do our other ribbon. So I've got 2 strands of ribbon again. This is my 11-inch, and the other one is my 9-inch. So if you were going to, and let me pull up my measurements just so I can make sure I'm telling you right. If you wanted to just take and wrap it around and tie it in a bow, you could do that. In fact, on my 2 other color combinations, I didn't use this color, but I used the black glittered organdy ribbon and did just that. So I took the 22 inches of ribbon instead of having the 9 and 11, sorry, this is 11 and a quarter. So 9 and 11 and a quarter, but instead I used 22, which is a little bit more when you add those 2 up. So this is kind of a ribbon saving technique. Plus it kind of looks nicer with this stiffer ribbon. So we're going to grab the tear and tape, and this adhesive is going to go all the way around. So you can see it's a little bit thinner in width. It's 1/4 of an inch instead of, I think this is more like 3/8 of an inch. And we want to go around our box so it's dead center. So we'll just go all the way around. This technique does use more adhesive, but it guarantees that your ribbon will not move on you. And you can just literally tear it off. So now we've got the end there. And then we can take and we'll grab this off the box here for a minute so we can emphasize, burnish it into our paper. Okay, so that's on there. Now let's put it back on the box because we need a little bit of stiffness to hold it when we do this. So you're going to peel off all the way around. And then your longer of the 2, so the one that is 11 and 1/4 inches. Oh, that wasn't good. Don't lay it down on any paper like that. So you want to figure out where your bow is going to go. In fact, let's tie our bow right now. So I've got the 2 ends done in kind of a little rabbit's ear, little, loop-de-loops with no twists or turns. I put them on top of each other like this. Okay, so I'm just crisscrossing them. And then there's this hole here. So this one that's on top is going to get tucked. It's just folded and it goes through that hole. And now we have this, but before I tighten it, do you see, we see the other side of the ribbon there, and I don't want that. So I'm going to turn this and I'm going to tighten at the same time. So I'm being really tricky here. Sorry, I have somebody playing basketball upstairs. You guys tell me you can't hear the noise that goes on upstairs or, off to the side, but I can, and I'm, just in case you hear it, I don't know what he's doing. My son is having fun upstairs. Okay, so then we can take and change the size. If you need to adjust the size, you can take and pull on the legs of your ribbon and just keep adjusting until you have the right size. So I think I'm going to do it just a little bit tighter here. So once that's done, then you can take and trim the ends like this and like this. I like the angle cut look on the ends of ribbons. It's quick and it's easy and it's pretty. And this is going to go right about here. So do you see where I've got my, and I'm not going to stick it down yet, but it's wanting to stick. It's going to go right about there. So that's where I want to kind of make sure that my ribbon does not start and stop. I do not want to see the connection of the ribbon. So I'm going to go over just a bit, and that's where the loop will cover it up. Okay, so I'm sticking it down just like that. And I'm going to, hang on, before I push it all the way down, I want to make sure it's right in the center of that space. Okay, and then you just come around like this all the way, smooth it out. This ribbon feels so good, by the way. You'll want to get it just for the feel of it. And there's the connecting point. And now we grab the glue dots. Good, I did mention those. Oh, it's fun. You get to see more of my room if I keep going back there, I suppose. Okay, so now we're going to place our bow right on top of our glue dots and pick them up like that. And we are careful when we add this down that we are covering up where the seam of that ribbon was. It's no longer visible. Now you can take this off and just kind of smush it down to make sure the ribbon's intact. Put your gift inside. We have one more step, and that is to add these last layers. This piece here is super small. It is, let's see, the Love You Always specialty paper. 5/8 by 4 1/8. And again, when you put this onto your foil, make sure that you're ready to stick down before you stick down. Like, have it centered. Because once it sticks, it sticks. And then this can go right on here. It's just a nice little way to accent and match up that card. So here's our finished card, and then this last thing will be just to add this piece on the inside, like that. So there's a little kiss on the inside of the box. Isn't that sweet? Speaking of kisses, another thing that you can put in the box, so here's another one, and on this one I actually tied the ribbon, the 22-inch length of ribbon, and then put glue dots behind it so it would stay here. So that's just a slightly different look on here, like this one. Where is it? Where is it? Here. This one here. So it's a slightly different look, okay? But, because it's kind of pinched in there. But it's, you know, it just depends on what you're comfortable with. But on this one, oh, Lucky's going to make noise now. In this one, we actually have kisses. And they do fit in there, 5 in a row. Cool. So if you don't want to get the lip gloss and you'd rather give these kind of this box size to other people, you can make masculine looking boxes if you want to. They don't have to be so feminine looking, but you know, use whatever papers you want, use whatever ribbons you want. Just apply the measurements to whatever supplies you have and stick Hershey's Kisses in there, and you have instant Valentine treats that are more affordable than the lip glosses, I'm sure. But still, these were super cheap. But that's just another thing that you can put inside the box. Now, some people had asked me why, oh, you know what, I'm not going to move on to that yet. Let's do this first. I want to share this. So, we were having issues with ink last week. When you ink up your ink pads, if they're the firm foam kind, you'll want to have like a plastic spoon or a credit card, or I even have these things, I don't even know what they are or where they came from, but you just drizzle your ink on there, and you can see it soaks in, but on our firm foam pads, we have it sinking in all in one spot, and that's kind of the reason why you want to have something like this, like a credit card or a spoon. It just kind of helps maneuver that ink and spread it around. So I brought this up not only because we had questions on inking last time and a dry ink pad, but we have colors that are leaving soon, and getting re-inkers now for in colors is a wise plan. The in colors that are leaving us soon are going to retire after May 3rd, and I'm going to pull up on my website so you can have a peek. Here we go. So this is the homepage for shopping on the website. When you're there, you can click on products and go down to shop by color, and then come over here and you can choose, see that 2019 through 2021. These in colors are leaving midway through 2021. So if we click on just that spot instead of going over here, we can see all of them at a glance. And I've also got them on my table, so I'll show you. But these are things that came in those, oops, did I go the wrong one? This is 2020. Hold on, it went to the wrong spot. Let's try that again. Color, in colors. There we go. So these colors are leaving. Do you see that there's only 4 ink pads here? Normally there's 5 in an in color pack. But the purple posy, which you can see in other spots here, like here's purple posy ribbon, there's purple posy cardstock and blends, Stampin' Blends markers. So those that color, even though it doesn't have an ink pad or re-inker, it's still leaving, and it's yeah, something that you want to keep in mind. So I'm going to move to the desktop again and show you these ink pads. I just shared a card a couple weeks ago that had the pretty peacock in it. That color's leaving. So I guess I'm mentioning these to you now because re-inkers and some of these in colors start disappearing more quickly once we get closer to the retiring products timeline. So I'm not trying to cause a panic. I'm just trying to make it so that we spread out our purchasing time. So those of you that are hearing this now, you may want to, like get your supplies filled up with colors that you don't want to run out of. Here's a card done by team member Kim McCutcheon. Love it. It shows off that terracotta tile really well. Very fun. This is that purple posy color, and again, no ink in this color, but the cardstock is there, the Stampin' Blends, some ribbons. It's in some, papers and things like that. It's a really pretty color. And then we have the Seaside Spray. Super pretty blue, you guys. This card is using the In Blooms bundle and some of the Paper Blooms Celebration product, free with a $50 purchase. And then the Rococo Rose. So that introduces you to the other colors that I have done with these boxes. So look at all these fun boxes and look at all these fun cards. I'm ready. I have them all done now, you guys. So I'm going to stick lip glosses in them, or you could do, again, Hershey's Kisses. But this is the Rococo Rose color, and it's a really soft, coolish pink. Here's the Rococo Rose box, again, black glittered organdy ribbon instead. And then this is the Sahara Sand color, which you wouldn't think to do lipsticks with, but really, I mean, when it comes to certain colors of these lip glosses, they look really good with the Sahara Sand because they didn't match the other 2 pinks. It's more of a neutral, so it worked really well with having that color in there. So I didn't have to try to pair it up with something that didn't match. And yeah, so those are the 3 colors that come in that fun specialty paper. But just keep in mind for those retiring colors that you'll want to start stashing up on them. Okay, so I'm going to stick these in view here too, so you can kind of see everything at once. Lots of fun stuff, right? Lots of fun. Can you see all that? Lots of fun goodies. Okay, what else do I want to mention? So yeah, 3.5 months to get that stuff. Host code. Someone was asking me about host codes. So I don't advertise my host codes, but I'm going to show you where to find them. The reason why is because I have club members that also use host codes, and I want to help my hostesses out and not take away sales from them by having my code in there and then confuse my club members. So I have a spot on my website, again, there's my website name, where you can find host codes. So if you decide that you want to order from me and you want to help out one of my hostesses or myself by getting some extra perks, if your order is under $150, you can add a host code to your order. So that, for those of you that are asking questions about host codes, this is how you do that. So I'm going to go to my desktop and show you. When you're on my website at stampyourartout.com, under the shop, you can find current host codes that way, or you can find it under clubs, current host codes. Again, I don't put it as a prominent one month number a month kind of thing because I don't want to take away from my club members. So if we go here, if we find the current host codes, you can see that I have 6 clubs going right now. And if I just had one code there, any number of these hostesses may not get their credit for their sales because other club members might go, oh, there's the host code. That's if you ever want to find it, there's where it is. Remember celebration. Don't forget about that. That is something that you'll want to take advantage of. So under sales and specials, celebration, level 1. If you purchase $50 worth of product from now through the end of February, you can get a pick of any one of these level 1 items. There's paper packs, there's stamp sets, and then if you decide you want to put your money a little bit, if you want to spend more and get a little bit more for spending more, you can either do 2 level 1s for a $100 order, or you can do a level 2. So there's a beautiful stamp set that's actually got huge images in it. It looks bigger in person. And then there's the bundle of that berry stamp set with the paper. So let's move to the desktop so you can see the prizes. Oh gosh, I'm throwing things on the floor. All right, here we go. Hang on. Oh, I keep doing the same thing. So prize options, and I'll zoom so you can see. I do have multiples of some of these sets. So yes, I think I have 2 touches of ink stamp sets. Oh, one now. I have one now because the winner last week did choose this. But just tell me your choice of celebration stamp sets, and I'll let you know if I have them, if you are the winner. So we're going to go back. Trisha's going to now pick out a couple winners from this live. We had winners from last week that commented after the live, and you are going to get your name shown right now so you can see who you are. So we had 2 winners after the live, and they get to contact me soon. Hopefully Kim Crafty and Christy T will reach out to me and let me know which one of those stamp sets, or remember we had the snowflake sequins too. So which prize you would like. I can respond to your comment with a comment that you won, but the live winners, I have a hard time reaching you. In fact, these winners here, Terry Hendricks, Judy Ernsthopp, and Christy Haynes, I have not heard from you yet, and your prizes are still waiting for you. So if you did not, if you see your name up there, contact me. My email is stampyourartout@comcast.net. Okay, back to the table, and let's see what we have for who Trisha picked. Yay! Timing was perfect. Trisha, last week she was here in my room with me on the other side of my craft room, and we were trying to time it because there's this delay that happens. This was perfect, Trisha. Congrats to Alice Van Alken and to Teresa Buckmaster. Yay! Congrats to you two. You get to pick out a prize. In fact, I know how to reach both of you in case you don't reach out to me because you have purchased from me before. So we'll try to get in touch and get all these prizes off my shelf. On that note, I think I've covered everything. Oh my gosh, have I covered everything. There was a lot to share today. Catalogs. I have some of my people that I've emailed who purchased from me in the past year I do this thing where I email out to those who purchased $50 or more in the past year, and I say, hey, I'd like to send you a catalog. And I say that to those people because I want to make sure that, you know, they get that great idea book in their hands. And anyways, I emailed them 3 times, and there's so many people who I haven't heard from. So if you are not getting my emails, will you please make sure that my email is in your contact list? But I also have a place where you can request a catalog if you do not have a demonstrator. You're not a demonstrator yourself. I'm going to take you back to my website one more time and show you where you can find that. So if you're on my website, you can click on Shop, click on Catalogs, because yeah, I've got more catalogs sitting here than I thought I would. And then if you scroll down, instead of just clicking on these to get the online version of them, there's a click here to fill out a request form. So I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm trying to reach you. Anyways, I think that's it. That's it, Rachel. Stop talking. So thank you for joining me on YouTube. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please give me the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. I'd love for you to come back every Wednesday. I try to broadcast around 11 a.m. Central Time, and I always bring to you a new project that hopefully you will like. And so you can subscribe to my blog too if you'd like to. You can also follow me on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. On that note, next week is Wednesday, January 27th. I'm going to broadcast to you live at 11 a.m. Central Time. So I hope to see you there. And I think that's it. So I will let you all go. Thanks for joining me. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.